Welcome to 101. I'm Greg Bassey, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. We have one of my favorite people in town today, someone who does real good for our community. I'm thrilled to know her, Molly Hilligoss. Welcome, Molly.
Thank you, Greg. It's a pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
Habitat for Humanity, a lot going on over there.
We do. I don't know where we want to start. There's so many different aspects of our
Whatever
mission.
you want to tell us about.
Well, a lot of people want to know about what's going on in terms of our new construction. So I can tell you that we have a house that is nearly complete on Barclay Street.
On Barclay Street?
We demolished years ago 2 different houses and combined the lots so that we could build one single-story, fully accessible, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And if it weren't for supply chain issues, that house would be done.
Right.
So we are waiting for Delmarva Power, who, obviously the city's been having some issues getting parts for electrical components.
Right.
And we are also waiting. We've been waiting for over 6 weeks to get the power connected.
And Barclay Street is in that East Church Street neighborhood,
Yes.
which you're doing tremendous work over there.
We are. And super excited. The partner family really like to be in the home by Christmas. I can't guarantee that, but we're working. We're just ready. We're ready for that power to get turned on.
So for people who don't understand, tell us again how it works with the families, the sweat equity that they put into it. How does all that work?
So someone that meets the income limits, meaning that they earn between 30 and 60% of the area median income. They're fairly low income. They wouldn't qualify to purchase a home with the regular market rates, but they could qualify with our program. So they apply. They have to have workable credit, stable income, and be willing to partner. So with that partnership, instead of making a down payment, they donate hours. And so they're working on the construction site or helping us in the office, helping us in the restore. And single parents, it's a 200-hour commitment. And for married or 2 income earners, it would be 300 hours. And then they purchase the home. So there is a mortgage. They make an affordable mortgage payment. And they're homeowners.
So how much less is the house than it would be if I just bought a house on the street?
They pay the exact same fair market rate. So whatever
Okay.
the house appraises for. So in this case,
Okay.
the house appraises for like 158,000. I could be off. But yeah. So they will buy it for that purchase price. Sometimes we'll roll in the closing costs, and closing costs these days are running around $7,000.
Right.
So we'll finance that into the purchase price as
Right.
well.
And what's your success rate? How do you consider one to be a success when you place a family and get the house going? What is a
If they make-
positive thing?
When they make their payment on time,
Right.
that is like woohoo. And actually, the last 6 months, our on-time percentage is running over 90%, which is terrific.
Right.
Especially given the whole pandemic situation, which definitely impacted some of the families.
Right. Now, one of the things you stepped up on during the pandemic was this rental assistance. Tell me how that went and where does it stand now?
So we were a subrecipient to Wicomico County for the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. The county received $26 million, give or take. And that was over the course of a couple years. As a part of that, we've expended probably over $6 million. I mean, it's run over 3 different fiscal years. So when you add it all up, that's a lot of money. And the county is almost out of that money. We've closed out all of our cases, and we're referring everyone to shore up at this point. We're not really sure how much more money is available for folks, and but we did great. We stabilized the community,
Right.
for sure,
Right.
and made a positive impact. I mean, over 2,300 individuals were served just by our agency alone. That's a lot of people,
Right.
that were saved from eviction, which was great.
And you had great response in the community. The landlords were very appreciative,
Yes.
and certainly all the customers were Very appreciative, and like you said, it stabilized things.
It did.
But now when we get to the next level, what do you see happening next?
So what we added during that time was all those people that we served, we captured their email address, so we send out weekly job journals that the state puts together. We have one-on-one financial coaching if they sign up for that. We've implemented the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University in our organization, whereas before we would outsource it, but we have a certified financial coach. So we have a lot of resources to help people achieve their financial goals, whatever that might be, wherever they are in their, with their goals. And we're excited to keep that going.
Right. Now, one of the things, I'm going to watch as a reporter is to see what happens with evictions, in terms of the court system. And I've been told, get ready. But I haven't really seen an indication that's a problem yet.
That is because when we were paying the emergency rental assistance, we could pay up to 18 months of someone's rent. With each case, they had to be delinquent. So the last cases that we paid were delinquent for November. We could pay forward 3 months, so December, January, February. Some of these folks have their rent already paid through February.
Right.
Some of them may be falling off in January. And so I would guess that by March, it's going to be, I don't want to say cuss words, but
right.
Just fill in the blank. It's going to be really bad.
Right. So it could be bad, but maybe people have learned through this and they're going to be able to react to it, or they're in a constant state of crisis?
I don't know. I think I'm concerned that because I don't believe that incomes have increased to compensate for the increase in rents. And you have these brand new, God bless him, Mayor Jake Day has done a great job with getting developers here and to build more inventory. But there's a cost to that.
Right.
And the 1-bedroom units that are being built over there by the mall, a 1-bedroom is like $1,300.
Right.
That's a lot. Before the pandemic, a 1-bedroom was running around $850.
Right.
And I'm not sure, I'm not convinced that incomes have risen to be able to afford that.
Right. Definitely a housing shortage in the community. It's everywhere,
sure.
but especially here.
For sure. So the affordability piece, I think, is really going to be a problem. It was a problem before the pandemic.
Right.
And I think it's just going to get worse.
So that makes Habitat's mission even more important now.
It does.
In terms of providing housing and offering opportunities.
Right.
How many houses are you up to now?
We are at 72.
72.
And we purchased 6 houses from a retiring landlord. That was back in February. We've been working on those. We have 3 almost completed. The other 3, the tenants want to buy. And so we have very minimal, rehab that we have to invest in those, which is great. And so I'm really hopeful that we'll sell about 7 houses this year.
That's tremendous.
Meaning before July 1.
Right.
If everything works out.
Right. So your year is June to July, July to June.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Which that'll be a record for us.
Right. And the concentration in that Church Street community has been excellent. Are you looking at other parts of town too?
We just bought a brand new building that will house our future corporate offices in Fruitland, and we'll have a second restore. So that is the building it's a big white warehouse right next to the post office.
Okay.
We'll start working on that probably in January. By July, I'm guessing we'll have our grand opening. And so the city of Fruitland is super excited to have us come there. They have all these properties that are distressed, and they want to tear them down and donate the property to us so we can build new homes. I think that'll be really exciting.
Yeah, most of that community is 60 to 70 years old, so those houses are getting near the end.
Right, some of the older homes in Fruitland. Yeah, I'm excited.
So you've got the Restore Store on Isabella Street still. You'll have that, and then you'll have a new one. Tell me about that Restore Store, because it's just cool.
It's great. Today I got a phone call from Spicer Brothers. Their warehouse manager called and said, "Hey, I just dropped off some brand new vinyl siding that, is a little left over from a project. And, can you send your box truck over? we have 4 pallets of shingles, and this is great. I mean, we can affordably help people with their home renovations. That it's just great.
So
It's funding our mission.
It's a place that I can go and buy discounted building supplies.
Absolutely. Or let's say a new couch.
Right.
Or a dishwasher.
Right.
So we accept donations. In fact, anybody that's thinking about renovating their house, before you tear down the cabinets, your contractor could easily, gently unscrew them from the wall and donate those to the Restore, and that, would be resold and help our mission. Which would be great.
So I'd urge people to check that out because it's a fun little trip in there.
Yeah, every time you go in, it's something different. We have I think 1/4 of the store right now is all Christmas. It's
great.
It's like Christmas Wonderland in there. It's great. It is.
So I keep hearing that you're starting a capital campaign. What's that for? When's that going to happen?
That capital campaign. So this is actually like the first announcement about the building, and we purchased the building, but it needs at least $500,000 of renovations to it, and we've already raised $310,000, which is great, and we need at least $200,000 more. Hello, anyone out there?
So that will get you the facility finished in Fruitland.
Yes. Yeah.
And how can people give you money? How's it set up?
They can go on our website, wicomicohabitat.org. They can, I'm not sure when this is airing in terms of Giving Tuesday, but we have a few donors that have offered a match, and that's super exciting. They can donate. We had one person, I spoke to the Evening Rotary Club, and I said, whether it's, your time, your talent, your treasure, maybe you even have, a vehicle you're not using anymore. Just give us a call, donate it to us. We can, if we can't use the vehicle, we could actually sell it and put that money into building, new houses or rehabbing existing houses for families. And
you have a great website. Tell us the story of what your local Habitat for Humanity is up to. A lot of good photos and news releases. And you really get a sense of what the mission is and how it's being accomplished.
Absolutely. The other way that folks can help us is by buying a ticket or sponsoring a table for our Chefs for Habitat.
Right, that's coming up. That's always a cold weather event. When is that?
That is February the 18th, 2023. This year, the Civic Center is renting us the arena, so the entire arena.
Wow.
We could sell up to 800 tickets if we wanted to. I don't know if we're going to want to get that big, but this year. But I think we're going to definitely be at 500 tickets. It's going to be super exciting. Our table sponsors are invited to a special VIP hour where they get to come in early and do a champagne toast. There'll be a special band playing during the early VIP cocktail hour.
Things I never get invited to.
Well, you could be a sponsor, Greg.
It would have to be in kind. But no, that event is great every year, just mostly because of the food.
The food's amazing. The food is always amazing. We have so many chefs. We have our celebrities that are helping to fundraise. We're going to do something different this year. So they will be doing a live competition. It will be a minute to win it style competition.
Wow.
So it's going to be really fun. And I just can't wait. I can't wait.
It's a nice dress-up event, and it's, like you said, it's who's who. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Dress up. I mean, this is the time to, really put it all on.
Yeah, pandemic's over.
And have a great time. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
And you were able to sustain it through the pandemic, but it was hard and it just wasn't the same.
We never closed during the pandemic. We kept our Restore open. We kept construction going. We did limit the volunteerism. That piece, we had to make some adjustments, like everybody did. And but we made it through. We made it through. We did a lot of workforce development, so the folks that were building the houses were being paid. A lot of reentry workforce development, and we're shifting. We want to keep that going, but we recognize that a lot of young people were stuck in homes,
Right.
not learning how to do construction. So we just got a grant, just were notified by the Community Foundation. We'll have a workforce development grant focusing on CTE students that are interested in construction, evening high school students that, if they're going to school in the evening, they can work at the construction site during the day and get paid.
Right.
And we think that that's really important. People, obviously, like the cost of housing, we're expecting that high school students are going to need to help their parents. And meeting people where they're at, recognizing that is really, really important.
Right. They can apply their craft, learn, have a project to work on in the community, make the community better. It's just like win-win-win.
Yeah, and then we'll connect those students to future employment. And if there's other things that they need, like let's say they're having trouble getting a driver's license because they can't afford driver's ed. Well, Warwick has a special scholarship program. We can connect them to that. If they do want to go to college, we can connect them with AmeriCorps and help them with access to that program, understanding how it works, the education award, which Salisbury University doubles the education award.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's tremendous. So if you decide you want to take a year off and just work full time as an AmeriCorps member at any nonprofit, on the Eastern Shore that's part of AmeriCorps, you'll get a little over $6,000 as your education award when you finish the 1,700 hours. Well, you go to SU, and that becomes $12,000.
Wow.
Who wouldn't want to do that?
Right.
To get paid, plus get $12,000 education award. That is amazing.
Right. Right. You mentioned the volunteer thing, and that's how I first got into Habitat. It was like a team building exercise at work, where our boss, literally made us go down there and do this work. And you get into it, and it's so much fun. And you feel like you're doing a great thing. You meet the family. You're on the site. You're experiencing the neighborhood. You're working with your coworkers in a whole different way. And it's a great team building thing. And I just wonder, does that still go on?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've shifted our construction days so that we are available either Monday through Friday or Tuesday through Saturday. We've got the property managers at Marley Manor are coming next weekend. 5 of them to help us with one of the projects. And next Tuesday we have Salisbury University students from journalism coming. They're going to put on the hazmat suits, and we're going to do demo in one of the houses that needs to be demoed.
Right.
A lot of internal demo. We can save the house, but there's a lot of parts that we cannot save.
Right.
So they're going to experience all that, which it'll be a lot of fun for them. And then they get to write about it.
Right.
And they'll get to learn about the the struggles of people and then the hope of home ownership. And that's really relevant, really important.
And then I love the photos every year that we run in the paper of the women habitat build that you guys do.
Yeah, the women build is great. We'll start another new project on Martin Street, probably break ground sometime in January. And we'll be ready. We'll be ready. We are ready.
So you mentioned Community Foundation grant in passing, but I just saw that you won a Community Foundation award, and it must be fun because you wonder, like, is your work getting through, and all of a sudden people recognize something you've done. What was that for, and how did that make you feel?
We were honored with the Henson Nonprofit Excellence Award, and I was totally shocked. I mean, my hands were sweating, my heart was, I was like, how? I didn't even have a speech. Like, I just wish somebody had told me, like, maybe you were, hey, Molly, you were nominated. Maybe I would have done my nails and my hair that day.
In those photos, though, you're beaming. I mean, it's great.
It's really great. And it's nice to be validated for all the hard work that we've been doing. To be recognized was really special and important. So we really have been working very hard.
It has to make the staff feel good, too.
Mm-hmm. It's been great, yeah. And to get your support. Thank you.
Well, absolutely. And I saw that also Salisbury Neighborhood Housing has a component in that. And you guys work really well with them.
We do. And with the way that we're selling homes in the future, we'll be able to partner with them even more. So they'll be able to offer a 20% piece of the financing, and local banks can offer, hopefully 60% of the financing, and then we can double our impact. So anyway, it's a little complicated. The financing piece is a little complicated,
Right.
But basically, we'll hold a silent mortgage to make it more affordable, as well as receiving funds back so we can start that next project without having to do as much fundraising.
There was a moment.
Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There was a moment last year, a year before, sometime, you were before City Council, you and Cheryl Motos from Salisbury Neighborhood Housing were both there. And there were some questions about something going on in the neighborhood. And, the council members thought they knew, and you two were both able to explain to them what was going on there in an economic way and what some of the needs were in ways that the political decision makers really didn't even know. So you end up knowing more about the community even than the people who were responsible for the whole thing.
Right. So I would say one of the things that most people don't realize, so like when you advertise or someone sends you a press release, and I'll just make something up. Phoenix Youth Project, receives $100,000 grant from local management board. Okay,
Right.
I made that number up. I don't know if it's really true, but people think that nonprofit received a $100,000 check. That is not the case. All of these grants, except for the Community Foundation, government grants are on a reimbursement basis,
Right.
which means you spend the money. First, you have to raise the money.
Right.
Then you spend the money to serve that client, whatever you said you were going to do in the grant. And then you have to send all the evidence, all the receipts, the times, the pay stubs, the timesheets. Everything then goes to whoever is granting the award, and they reimburse you. Well, in the case of, this example, Phoenix Youth Project, I was talking to them the other day, and she was like, I don't know if I'm going to make payroll because I'm waiting on a reimbursement. And I said, well, when did you send that reimbursement in? She goes, I sent it in July. And I'm like, what? It's November. Like, how is it that it's taking this long for you to get a reimbursement? This is crazy. And I went to the governor's grants conference last Friday and ran into someone from Maryland Nonprofits. And he said there was another nonprofit, the executive director took out a second mortgage on his house to make payroll because of the same issue. That is wrong. And so that needs to be addressed, and that needs to be addressed at the state level. And local leaders need to understand the problem. Local people need to understand the problem, why it's so important that they give locally when it comes to the giving season or what have you, because it really makes an impact and a difference.
So I've heard lots of politicians saying, using the phrase throwing money at a problem. It's just not that way. You don't throw money at it. The strings that are attached and the accountability is so extreme.
Right.
You almost don't even want the money.
I think that some leaders are just uninformed.
Right.
They just don't know. I mean, I didn't know until I was in the nonprofit world that that's how it worked. So I feel like I do a good job connecting the dots and explaining these complex things in a really easy to understand manner. And hopefully lots of people are watching and they're like, wow, I didn't know that. So yeah, I'm going to donate to my local, whatever their passion is, instead of the national one, because it really does make that much more of a difference.
Right. You can see what's being done.
Right. Not everybody has a restore like we do.
Right.
They're doing the hard work, but without, a unrestricted revenue stream.
So tell us again, if we want to give you money, how do we do it?
Well, right now, I want everybody to buy Chef's tickets, Chefs for Habitat tickets. It makes a great holiday gift.
Oh, it's a good holiday gift. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
stocking stuffer.
I mean, people these days, they have everything they need, but they need that experience of coming to Chefs for Habitat.
And there's an auction there, right? I remember the auction.
We have a silent auction. They could make what if someone is really great at making gift baskets? They could create this unbelievable gift basket and donate the gift basket to us that could be then auctioned off. Maybe they get, so many presents that they just don't need all these things, and they can donate some of those to us as auction prizes.
I was there one year, and some people donated a house in Barbados for a week, and I got in a bidding contest with my doctor, and it got out of control, and he got it, thank goodness. So I didn't have to, because I didn't have the money. But it was just awesome to see some of the things that were available for auction.
Absolutely. So it's going to be exciting.
And when is the chef's event?
February 18th, 2023.
At the Civic Center.
At the Civic Center.
Okay. And your website?
Wicomicohabitat.org.
And it's all there?
Everything is there.
Okay. She's Molly Hilligoss. We're thrilled she's with us here today from Habitat for Humanity. She runs one of the most important nonprofits in our community, and we're thrilled that Molly had time to be with us. Thanks, Molly.
Thanks, Greg.
I'm Greg Bassler from the Salisbury Independent Newspaper, another edition of One-on-One right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and One-on-One. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.